For me, it would be with this kitchen and the dining room area, just because it's the heart of the home. Like, most houses, it's a lot more open than it was before. It was a lot more closed before, and there wasn't really much room.
For me, yeah, definitely the kitchen would be my favorite because after the upgrades, it became a very nice kitchen for cooking. So I've been able to quote unquote up level my game, in cooking and things like that. So I'm really happy with it. The openness of this floor in general is really nice, especially with the ADA features that we built in. So getting around this floor with a disability is very nice. It's much easier. The biggest thing though is the overhead vent. Incredible just how efficient and quickly it dispels, any kind of smoke.
In our old setup, we used the deck a lot, and it was almost like an extension of the house. But nowadays, I almost feel like we could use our deck, but we probably don't have to because you open the doors and you get that same feel without having to bring all the stuff outside.
I think that the new house takes advantage of the surrounding land, the plot of land, much better than the old house did. When I think back on, what my father had to go through to move here to the United States, this was his first property that he ever owned. He had 2 young kids at the time. I think that the new house now does very good justice in the property. So yeah, it's I'm really happy with how things turned out in that respect. For me, one of the hardest things was identifying what we could carry over from the old house into the new house, downsizing properly, and then buying, new things, furniture or appliances, whatever that fit well into the new decor of the house. That was kind of a process. So the process of moving was hard enough with the logistics of packing everything, putting it in a van, unpacking all that stuff. But then one thing I didn't anticipate was the difficulty of really just making sure that everything you're moving back in fits into the new place. Everything that you buy fits into the new place, has a cohesive, way of decorating and organizing. Because you don't want to have a renovation this large and then just move everything back willy-nilly and snap your fingers and think that that's all going to be, you're not just moving from one apartment to the other.
Get clear on what you want, and then prioritize what those top 3 to 5 things are, and then what's something that you can hold on until you can either save up for it. The other thing is get help where you can. Hire the professionals that'll make things work easier. And there's a lot of compromises, so I would probably say the priority stuff would, make the investments there, and then the rest you can kind of chip and save.
Really be very deliberate when moving back in, because it is a starting point of basically a new life. And I think you have to be deliberate on, how you arrange everything when you go back in. I'm realizing now that the interior is just as important as the architecture of the house. Maybe I knew that before on an intellectual level, but now I understand it from an emotional level as well. I loved working with them. They were super professional, and then all throughout the process, they were very. Their communication was excellent with us. We had weekly meetings. If there was any kind of problem or something that had to change kind of on the fly, they would communicate that with us. They really knew what they were doing.
They also educated us on certain things, like if there's something we can look at, they would explain why instead of no, we can't do it this way.
I would say that contracting D&B was an awesome choice. You guys made it as smooth as it could be. I mean, it's a difficult process in general, but you guys really helped make it as smooth as can be. And all of what I really enjoyed too was all of the tradespeople that you subcontract they always seemed to be top notch and very professional, very friendly. Every time I walked in here, they were always very accommodating. But on top of that, they just seemed to do very good work, on a very timely basis. So I was very happy with it.
Well, the structural aspect's pretty huge too. I think you all did a pretty good job with the due diligence because I'll do horror stories from friends and family. I always hear the same thing: you get what you pay for. And if you try to save everywhere and instead of investing in the important places, then you'll probably be spending a lot later on. You guys did a really amazing job in putting everything together. Very grateful to be able to have y'all help us make this, all our whatever visions we had on pieces of paper or